the rig Strongholds, has Harry mentioned, for game number 4, but Strongholds on Plaza. The first team to score 100 points will be your victor. Game number 1 of the day, week 3. This is where things start to get a little bit interesting because we see really, first of all, who's going to Atlanta. We could have several teams qualify today, but more importantly, who is the cream of the crop? Who's the best in European Halo? Is Brandon being added to that team-infused roster just going to solidify their stance at the top of the table even more? Or will some of the team changes come back to bite teams on the ass? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to find out. Tweet the stream, use the hashtag HCS. We got Vexed taking on Invictus. Kicking things off with newly added, should I say, Morgu.
Yeah, Morga, the man added to Vexed to replace Respectful, as we've touched upon already. The start of the game actually goes in favor of Invictus, a very strong start for them. The last time these two teams played, as I alluded to earlier on, was actually on Monday. The series score, you guys are going to love this, was actually 4-3. So if you go by scrim stats, we'll be going to a Game 7 here in this series. Vexed actually came out with the 4-3 victory in that one. We'll start the game off on the Invictus side with Jimbo, who actually grabbed the camouflage off the start, and his team is scoring as well. This is the kind of situation you want to see Invictus put the stranglehold on early. You can see Jimbo here really wants to drop into this yard as soon as his team get that first kill, but looks like they're going around the back end already, and this is a very aggressive maneuver, and honestly, I'm not sure if it's the right play call to make, and Jimbo dropping inside bottom middle right there. That's a very questionable play call by them pushing into yard right there very, very early. It allowed Lunny to go around the backside to get Nest, and they stole bottom middle away, and now look, it's Invictus trapped in that yard. That's a very strange play call from them.
Lunny going to take control of S4 then. He's got his teammate Morgu opposing him inside the cafe. Jimbo comes around down on the ramp. We're going to see Lunny at least challenge him a little bit, but unfortunately Grenade will come back and bite him in the backside. His teammate finally does step up to the plate though. Morgu comes around the corner with the assist. I like the play that Lunny's doing. He's just chilling out over here, Harry. There's, you know, he's in cinema. Really, there's nothing else he needs to do. He just needs to make sure that he's got eyes on the prize, which is Nest, but also make sure he covers bottom mid, and this is exactly what he's doing. His teammates call for support. Jimbo's going to get caught off guard. No shields whatsoever. Should be an easy kill. Does clean it up. But now, from where he's gone, from where he's been, once again, is in bottom middle. And this is exactly what you want to do. You just want to play around those two hills.
Yeah, we were speaking of kind of asking for support, and Lunny's actually second in the league right now, second league-wide in terms of assists per game. This is actually a big team fight here in bottom middle, because if Invictus win this one, which it looks like they're going to, is 3 down on the Vex side as Cristola picks himself up 2. That's going to allow them a little bit more breathing room. We'd like to see Cristola here actually transition up high, because if you look at the timer on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, the camouflage is coming up very soon. It comes up just after that 10-minute mark. This is a really nice slaying performance out of Cristola, actually. We asked questions about him last week, and his stats certainly weren't up to where we expect them to be, right? And right now, he's honestly on pace for a frenzy. I believe this is 7 kills in a row and total control for his team. This is perfect for Invictus. They're slaying Vexed in waves. And right now, Vexed, they have to group up. And as long as they don't group up and don't push this yard as a team, as they're doing right now, Invictus are just going to rack up those points.
Look at that. He does unfortunately get pinched as someone goes down below, comes down the loop, and he will go down. Moving over to Riot's his POV. Let's take a look at what he's doing over here in Cafe. Grenades go down, going to try and find those hit markers, which he does indeed. Ramirez also going to challenge him back, though. Make sure you hit those shots, Riots, otherwise he's going to kill you. Goes around and checks again, as he does have these 2 pillows to at least work around and get some covering fire. Looking at the bigger picture, though, he's going to see his teammate Morgu transition across to the opposing side. Big one-on-one going here with Ramirez. Most comes in and cleans it up. Lovely bit of teamwork there. Allows him to stay alive and keep control of this side, because now he has eyes and he's able to look at bottom mid. They do need to try and get bottom mid. We know how important that is. A little bit of a windy beat down there. So he's going to go. Now he's going to try and tag it up, and he needs to be aware of these 2 players moving all the way over to Nest. He's going to go right into him. But his teammates are there. They pinch in together. They collapse on one. Down he goes. Snipe Drone's going to come up. This will be a big kill if they get it. He does have a little bit of help and support from behind, though. Can he stay alive? Yes, he can. That player is going to clean up Nest, and Nest, well, big cleanup from Jim and Ramirez. They're working side by side. Excuse me, Jimbo and Cristola. They will tag up Nest. Keep the triple cap dream alive. But all of a sudden, we're going to see a bit of a fight back out of Vexed. Look at that passive play, though, from Snipe Drone. All of a sudden, no shields whatsoever, Harry. He just holds back and says, I can play passive too, don't worry about this.
Yeah, I have to swap over to Jimbo right now. He's playing this very, very well. Back on the old Fabi squad, we'd often see Jimbo, when they have that total control, sit back at the nest and kind of sit at top nest with that height advantage, but also just blocking those snipe lift spawns. He wasn't actually doing that time. I mean, we kind of saw on the red outlines a player able to get to nest without any pressure whatsoever. But Jimbo did a really good job actually cleaning up a couple of players. A little bit of a curse of the caster right now. I'm not sure if Mose actually spots that player behind him, and that honestly could be a thorn in the side as the nade comes in. That's actually going to be Snipe Drone with a flank. He could pick up 2 here, and it'll secure bottom middle. But yeah, I got to praise the play from Jimbo, and also a very smart flank from Snipe Drone. And with 2 kills going their way, Snipe Drone immediately is going to block these tram spawns and try and push into the yard.
I like how you called out Jim just for the slaying that he's doing in the game. So every time we look at that kill feed, name he's just flashing, flashing, flashing. Snipe Drone going to help his 2 teammates out there. They'll pick up that a little bit quicker. Total control will be coming again. And I think this is pretty much GG no Reaper map at number 1. Jim is going to try and hunt down this last player. Mo says no, not today. You're going to die on it, so that's going to make very little difference in the grand scheme of things. As we will see, Invictus with a very, very commanding lead.
Yes.
100 points to 21. That's saying something. That's saying a precedence.
That was very well played by Invictus. I called it on the commentary before, like how Jimbo wasn't spawning those, wasn't blocking those snipe spawns, excuse me. He did that perfectly. I mean, I spoke about him on the old Fabi squad holding top of Nest, and he did that very well as well. Cristola, good to see him back to his old tricks. 13-7 out of him, 13-4 out of Snipe Drone. Just a slaying performance out of Invictus, but check out just the 7 kills combined between Riots and Lunny. That is no bueno.
So between them, they didn't even get the same amount of kills as anybody on the opposing roster. That's pretty bad, man. But you know what? It's a game number 1. Everything can change. There's still, you know, plenty of maps in front of us, potentially 6. But I think that more goes for, you know, how you set the ball rolling for Invictus. After what happened to them last week, they kind of want to show people, you know, we're not... Just because we got beat once don't mean we're down and out yet. We've got a lot to prove. Not
only that, when they played in the scrim as well, they actually lost that game type 100-45. So, yeah, you're right. That's going to kind of flip the script on the whole series. That really plays into your team's advantage when it comes to mental games. And the mind games definitely playing into the hands of Invictus. After losing that in the scrim earlier on in the week, they will take that one against Vexed. And it's kind of a strange dynamic when you scrim a team before a competitive series like this on the exact game types you're going to play, because then when it comes to the actual performance, you have to think about those mental games, right? You have to think about, oh, are they counter-stratting us? Are they going to stick to the same strategies? Are they just going to try and outplay us using the same kind of tactics? And one of the best counter-stratters in the league, one of the best anti-stratters is Ramirez for Invictus. And I personally think
that word.
That has come into play in game number 1 as they'll steal it away from Vexed.
Well, Slayer on Eden is game number 2, as you can see on screen. The first team to bag 50 points will be your victor, or whoever has the most points by the time has run out will also claim victory. We got those power weapons in play. We got some nice power-ups as well. But I tell you what, if you pull in statistics just like we saw out of Lunny and Riots, you want to be turning that around right here and right now, because in Slayer, every single death matters, Harry.
Every single death matters, and when they played this in the scrim, this man on your screens right now went 20-6. 20-6, plus 14 in a Slayer, a 3.3 kill death ratio, and he's starting it off very, very well. Riots definitely loves this game type. If you're Invictus, the main strategy is keep the snipe out of this man's hands, because we've seen in the open circuit in the past, he can really hit some shots with this thing, and this is a dream start here for Vex. Riots with overshield and snipe, and now we're going to see a little bit of a show right here from Max, because he knows how to use this weapon, man, and the shots he's hit in the past are just a thing of beauty.
So there's a couple of things to notice here. Is one, where his teammates are, kind of in comparison to where he is. He's got a little bit of room to breathe, and he's got this, you know, maneuverability, so he can go outside, he can look, he's got support just to his right-hand side as well. When you look across in the opposing area, as you can just see there, Morgu, where he's sitting, he's giving him support from the right-hand side.
But check out this. We spoke about anti-stratting, and this is Invictus learning from their lesson, because when they played in the scrim, they must have known Riots went 20-6 by doing this exact thing. They know he has the snipe. They've slowed this game down completely. I love the play. Let's just play this a little bit more tactically and just don't let Riots rack up as many kills as he can with this snipe. I really like the change of pace here from Invictus.
They know exactly where he is. They know exactly what's going on. Jim's definitely just got for him. He says, no, I'm thrusting out of here, fam. See you later. Snipe Drone needs to be careful, though, because if he gives him an angle, he will happily take a face, giving the opportunity to do so. And, you know, we look back at Halo 5 and we look back at Riots' performances. This man still made the Halo World Championship. Fair enough, he went a second time as well, even as a coach, but he still got there. Regardless of this being Halo 5 and not being Max's strongest game out of the entire Halo series, he is still a monster of a player, and he's still Riot's. No matter what way you look at it, this man still has some very, very, very sick skills, and you need to be aware of him. Don't give him any room to breathe, especially when he has a sniper rifle. We've seen what he's doing, as you mentioned, in scrims, but also in games past.
Yeah, when you slow the game down, you really expect the sniper to just get a little bit impatient and get frustrated. He will be taken down there, but the result of Invictus slowing the game down was they were a little bit slow to that team fight around the turbine, and it allowed Morga here to pick up that power-up that spawns in the turbine. It has just been melted, and this is really great focus fire there, actually.
They boxed him in.
From Invictus. They boxed him in, exactly. And yeah, that makes that power-up a complete non-factor. They still have the sniper here in the hands of Lunny. He does have ammo in this, I do believe. The two-shot beatdown will come into play, but he'll be taken down as well. So okay, the change of pace actually working out there for Invictus. Very nice from them, and with the sniper coming up in 10 seconds, they already have the control of blue, so if they can get more ammo or even potentially get a second sniper on the map here in their team's possession, then they could be in for a great time! He doesn't even see it on his screen, and he tags the no-scope. All 4 down for Vexed. Oh my, Jimbo, take a bow.
Rest in peace. I mean, Riot's just got buried.
Put him in a body bag. I don't think they make body bags big enough for Riot.
Come around the corner and... Wow, okay. So you'll be coming out of the respawn screen with a headache, that's for sure. GPK, you can see in the kill feed there, he goes down. Sniper rifle's up as well. Ramirez going to clean victory on that one. 17-14, rotating back, unfortunately, into the open arms of Vex as they just hang around blue and await this free sniper rifle to be dropped. That's going to be Mo, so we'll pick up this one. Now it's time for Mo to find some faces and have a play with this toy. Finds one, scooting down bottom mid. That's going to get called out. Morgu answers. So does Riot's as well on the left-hand side. Snipe drone falls. Morgu, unfortunately, will be transferred back by Jimbo. But Mo's, I mean, is he in the very best position, Hara? Because he doesn't have any defense on his right-hand side. He's
in a great position, actually, because the overshield's coming up soon. I was going to say I would like to see Invictus actually slow this game down a little bit, but the overshield is coming up, so they have to speed it up a little bit and try and fight around this turbine. Last time they were a little bit slow, but this is much better. Pushing mid-cat here from Jimbo is going to allow his team so much opportunities. It's just blasted a hole in the defense of Vexed, but it looks like that overshield's actually going to be burned. But a good result there from Invictus. They're actually up by 1 at the moment. They just need to make sure they're winning these team fights and coming out on top with the numbers.
It's a lot more passive than what we're expecting for these two teams, but as you... Oh, bouncy coming out of Mo's, unfortunately. Doesn't survive, but giving it a damn good effort. Now a 3-kill lead. Now we're starting to see some kind of gap beginning to open up. Kristola onto Riot's there with the BR. And this weapon, in the, I mean, not necessarily the Hydra. I mean, the Hydra does damage in itself, but the BR on this map, scoping in, with the open areas that you have, you could do so much damage, and you've kind of seen that as the game's progressed. Like, more people are going for the BR, more people are going for the DMRs, using these long-range tools where you can really scope in and really hit people hard. And speaking of scoping in and trying to hit people hard, Ramirez is going to find a nice bird's eye view of the entire map. He just needs to find a couple of Spartans and connect those bullets. Yeah,
watch out for Riot's though in this situation. He has the Hydra, and if he spots Ramirez, which he will, but doesn't connect with the lock-on, he could be in for a bit of a worrisome situation. He needs to be very careful of that Hydra, because 2 rockets from that thing and you are donezo, boys. So he definitely needs to watch himself right here.
Oh, okay, so Ramirez can no-scope as much as Jimbo can. That's interesting. Cops for 1. That's going to be his teammate Kristola will pick him up at least. Mose will answer back onto Kristola. Definitely heard the plasma pistol going off there, so that's Mose going to creep in with that one. Got to be careful. Snipe drone's going to find him as well. You can see there the little light above his head is flashing, so he's definitely on an engagement run. Looking at Ramirez's POV still, just hovering around. Needs to be careful though, having that many bullets in his back pocket. Does not want to give them away. 6 bullets in the chamber. I like the play though. Run away from them. Get out of it.
See, I'm not sure about this play at all, because right now the overshield's coming up. The sniper's just come up as well. You've just rotated around the opposite end of the map from the snipe, and you're nowhere near turbine. So yeah, it depends what Invictus do right here. They've given the snipe to Morga on the other side. Riot's picks himself up a double, and the overshield actually goes to Vex as well. So yeah, I'm not too sure about that rotation. Maybe they were just kind of surrendering the overshield, but now you have an overshield snipe in play. So a bit of a old school sniper duel right here from Ramirez versus this man on your screen right here, Morga. Don't forget, last week, Morga hitting that insane shot on the overshield player. Now he's got an overshield of his own. Let's see what he can do with it.
Ramirez will jump up, tags 1.
1-0.
Morgan 1-0. Stays alive because of the OS, at least. If he didn't have that, it would have been very dangerous. Waters 2 kills down here for Vexed. They're all just going to rotate around to the right-hand side a little bit too much. But you know what? They're actually meeting it because there's resistance on that opposing right-hand side. Snipe Drone's literally standing his ground, or crouching, depending which way you're actually looking at it. All the west spawn, just waiting for someone to come up there. But you would have, you know, you kind of expect someone to be there, so he's got to be careful that he doesn't. You can actually see someone's looking at him already. He's going to get attacked. Will he come out on top? Yes, he does. He'll win that battle. Morgu's there to try and clean up. Now he's going to run away, but he's getting baited out. Goes in, tries to go for the quick scope of Dreams. Unfortunately, he will fall. Snipe Drone now, just going to help out his teammate with a cheeky grenade.
Yeah, great baiting and switching from Invictus. They'll come out with a positive one. They won the team fight 3-2, so that's a +1 to their scoreline, and Cristola picking up rights right there will add another one to their lead. So coming up around this overshield time again, in around 20 seconds or so, you're going to see both teams try and fight around that turbine side. And Snipe Drone, he was gifted a sniper by Morga, and we know what this man can do with this weapon. And this is kind of an old school Snipe Drone right here. He's not going to overextend for those flashy shots. He's just going to rotate away from the pressure and make sure he stays alive with it so he can live to fight another day. I like this play.
Honestly, it's just a radar. Like, we've seen...
Oh, that's delightful.
Oh, can he get a second? Yes, he can. We mentioned old school Snipe Drone. It's kind of the same for these plays. Look at that. He's just so aware. So aware. Spins around, even mid-glide, and just catches him. Doesn't go through, but if we've been walking around the corner, it would have been in a lot of trouble. But yeah, it all comes down to the radar. Like, some of these players have just gone... Oh, doesn't know he's back. Oh, is that player going to stand still? Yes, he is. He hasn't seen him. Oh, he pushed down a little bit too much, but he might get the double beat down. No, rather unfortunate. Jimmy says no. Unfortunately, finds 3 of them. That's going to be a triple. Doesn't quite catch the over. His teammate will come in, though. Off or dead. This is not looking good for Vex.
Definitely not. It kind of all fell apart at that kind of team fight that Invictus won, and since then they've just been pushing very, very aggressively, have Vex a little bit too overzealous, and when you hand a sniper to the hands of Snipe Drone, he picked up 2 or 3 kills right there, and that's just added to the pressure on the side of Vex when you have a player.
360 Hydra.
I mean, why not? When you have a player that's as talented as Snipe Drone, coming to snipe and putting +1s on the board for your team, it's going to make games like Eden Slayer so easy. And Cristola right here is just showboating, trying to get 360 Hydra inside. I love it. Love the ambition, and he will actually get the 50th kill.
And there we have it then. Unfortunately for Vex, they are getting the raw end of the stick when it comes to it.
I love it. I love it. Style points.
South of the playing island. Just grab Hydras, and that's what you do, to be fair. I've seen you many a time messing with that Hydra.
Yes,
don't tell me you don't.
I do.
You are a Hydra lover. We've seen it time and time again.
Hydra troll.
Jimbo 17 and 11. Cristola 15 and 6. 12 and 11 coming out of Snipe Drone. A little bit of a negative KD out of Ramirez, but no doubt we know how much, you know, communication and teamwork this man adds to any roster. 7 and 15 this time. Unfortunately, it's Morgu who's going to be on the negative end for Vexed. Us, though, stepping up to the plate.
Definitely in terms of damage dealt, but an interesting fact about Moze and Morga right here. You see they have 15 deaths each. That's more than their fair share in a Slayer. You kind of want to try and hover around that 12 death mark, if not a little bit lower. They are actually in the top 5, both of those players, in the top 5 for deaths per game. Moze is actually #1 in the league for deaths per game.
Wow.
And Morga is #3. So, yeah, maybe they were getting caught off guard. Maybe they were expecting a little bit of help from their team. Maybe a few missed calls could have cost them those couple of extra deaths here and there. But I honestly believe that was frustration. I believe Invictus were frustrating that Vex side, and it showed in the gameplay. They played that perfectly once again, did Invictus, you know, winning the team fights when they needed to. There were a couple of missed fights for the overshield. I mean, we saw Vexed grabbed 2 overshields that game, but they still almost got staked. They're only 6 kills away from being staked, despite grabbing 2 of those overshields. So something for Vex to look back on, definitely. Watching Moze and Morga's deaths and trying to put those power-ups into a little bit better use.
And there you have it then, game number 2 going in the hands of Invictus. Yeah, let's touch on what you mentioned over deaths and stuff like that. And why do you think, in particular, we've got 2 big Slayers like that?
Yeah.
Is that just throwing your body at people and trying to hope that you were there with your teammates or getting them to clean up, or does it scream volumes about the aggression of these players?
Worth noting that both those players were actually in that Game 7 last week. So they're going to have naturally more data, a bigger sample size to take from. Shout out to Halo Data Hive, by the way. It's the only reason I know these stats. I don't do them myself. HaloDataHive.com. Great website. They were in that Game 7 last week, which means they're going to have that bigger sample size. But yeah, you know, you don't really consider deaths when it comes to those objective games. Like, speaking of objective, we're going up to Truth, capture the flag next, but it doesn't matter how many times you die in an objective game mode. All that matters is the objective. All that matters are those stronghold points or those flag points. So yeah, worth noting, they were in that Game 7 last week. The only 2 teams in the league to actually go to a Game 7 so far. So yeah, maybe it was to do with the sample size, but they are very aggressive players and definitely will throw their body on the line for the cause.
Camo, Tac Mag is going to be CTF on Truth. I'm looking to see if anyone kind of makes use of this Tac Mag, because every time we've been watching this each week, no one's really going down for it. Jimbo comes in, though, for the first strike, going to bag himself a free camo as well, and gets himself a double. Can we see a triple straight off the bat? Almost. Finds a one up top mid, takes him down. That's 3 out. Lunny, last man standing. Does pick up 2 as well, so he's at least going to answer back. Counts how many are alive on his screen, but look at this. Snipe Drone's not messing around, Harry. He's back in the face. Apply the pressure. If they're bleeding, well, let's just finish him off and bleed them dry. That's exactly what he's doing. Grenade will come down. He's forced to move back for a second, but I tell you what, this is an aggressive play coming out of Invictus. I mean, at the moment, Vexed, they don't really look like they know how to respond.
They don't at the moment. When you look back at the scrim earlier on in the week, they actually won this game type as well. They won this 3-1. And
3 dead again.
Interesting thing about this game type when they played in the scrim, that's actually going to be 4 dead there, Sims, is that Moze and Snipe Drone actually combined for 70 kills in this game mode. Snipe Drone led the game in 36, Moze was just behind him with 34, but looks like the flag's on the move. It's going to be pounded in by the GPK himself, and that's going to be 1-0 to Invictus. Very nice flag run, capitalizing off that 4 dead from Team Vexed. Very nice stuff once again from Invictus. They've looked the real deal. They've looked like the best team in Europe that we've been hailing them from the start of the season so far in this series.
Jim was looking for the play there over in Bubble, then cleans him up finally, and now he knows that he's got a bit of room to move. He's got the call out that Moses hovering over here at P2, will turn his back away, try and tuck his head in. Unfortunately, Riots is across the map. Doesn't land that final shot, and he was only 1 shot, but it does come in from Mose. Pings him across the map and takes him down. Christopher at least answer back and will finish Mose off. Riots, though, out in no man's land, down bottom middle. Getting the call out, though, as he sees his best mate over in the corner. Lunny's body just hit the floor. Grenade goes down. No hit markers will be found. And Griselda again, unfortunately, is just applying this pressure so much. It's non-stop, Harry. It's non-stop.
Non-stop pressure, and Vex right now can't seem to get the first kill on the board. The 2 slays coming in right there from Moze and Lunny will help them out, but they have to capitalize off this. Moze, we've seen before, you know, he likes flanking through the basement often, and they've just pushed in a little bit too slow right here. You can see the spawners coming out from Invictus. Fair enough, Moze will get that 1 kill, but Lunny's down now, and now Moze has barely any support. He does in the face of Riots, as he will come in and try and help out. He actually picked up the camouflage as well, but just a little bit slow here from Vex. In the past, we're used to seeing them with Respectful on the team be a little bit snappier, a little bit quicker in their decision making, but at the moment, it looks like they're struggling a little bit to get the first kill on the board and then moving the flag from there.
2 down, make that 3 in fact, so now they can really get this flag moving. Morgu does go down. You can see those grenades, though, they're coming in from across the map. Not entirely sure who that is. Mo was kind of looking for Morgu to potentially move back, but he does know that he's got Lunny over in the bubble, making sure that nobody's there. Mose will just opt to thrust this one in, and now we're all drawn up, so back on even playing fields. 9 minutes remaining on the clock. Kind of want to reset after that bad start, because it was a bad start. It was terrible.
It was, yeah, and I honestly believe that Invictus kind of just gave up that flag capture, honestly, because there were a few bodies in their own base. I honestly think that they banked on Vexed just pulling bodies back with that flag, expecting Vex to overreact to the overextend from Invictus, and now look, it's paid dividends. They now have map control, they're flooding forward, Snipe Drones were able to push up to the Eli, and they just seem a lot quicker than the Vex squad. This is absolutely no disrespect, but you know, it just feels like they're a bit more of a well-drilled team, and maybe, you know, it's a few teething problems here for Vex, but look at how many bodies flood into the base here from Invictus. That was 3. Fair enough, 1 of them went down, but now Snipe Drones picked up 2 in a row, and the flag is surely going to be moved here, and it is by Cristola. So this is what we're talking about. As soon as they get those kills, they're so quick to capitalize, and this really should be 2-1 right here for Team Invictus.
Look at how quickly Lunny died. As soon as he just stuck his head out. Can we see him get this kill? No, Morgan's going to come in to save the day. One-on-one battle, big battle In fact, another player, though, comes in. That's not going to be it, though. Rather unfortunate. Oh, that one does go in the end, even though Grenade comes down. Lunit, unfortunately, just too late to the party. He'll be left on his own, stuck in a corner. And unfortunately, he's going to have to challenge two to potentially three people. One comes off the respawn in the form of Snipe Drone. He thrusts back and just cracks him on the head with the butt of the gun.
And the camo should be coming up soon. It was actually Riot, who is the last alive right now in Pink 2, to grab that one, but he goes down. I think that's game, because there was 3 down. All the players have to overextend. It's going to be Jimbo the flag. Yeah, this is a good game.
Wow. Well, that was quick.
Just like that.
A lot quicker than what I anticipated, to be honest with you, especially when we're talking about the initial one coming off the back of the game they had. But I've got to ask, Harry, when you're 3-0 down like that so quickly, because we've only been playing what, maybe it feels like 20-15 minutes potentially.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, so let's talk about this a little bit further, right? You're Moz, you're a European champion back-to-back. You've only ever lost 1 series in 2 seasons of Pro League. 3 seasons of Pro League, in fact. You've only ever lost 1 series. You've lost your buddy system, you've lost your partner in Respectful. They've gone for Morgu, who the last 2 games has had a pretty rough game. You know, I hate to call individuals out, but he's a new addition to this team and he's having rough games like that, for example, 3-11. How does this, from mental side, affect Moz now that he's lost Brandon and his team is struggling against people like Jimbo?
Moz is going to be happy. His stats look good.
Oh,
He'll be fine. No, yeah. I mean, the whole reason I believe they brought Morgan in was to try and complement Moz, right? And I believe we've seen that in terms of statistics so far this series. Take nothing away from Snipe Drone, by the way. The performance was great. I mean, look at this. 12-6 with the most assists in the game as well. Great, just a great all-star performance from Snipe Drone. We've been saying since week 1 he's been a player to watch for this Invictus team. You know, since the new settings came in, it definitely benefits him massively. We've seen that in the statistics right there. But Moz, it's going to suck for him. It really is. You know, he's gonna hate this life because honestly, this is where Vexed are right now. They are going to have a few teething problems. Fair enough, they still have a lot of games left to play in the league, but you know, they're only 1 win away from DreamHack mathematically. They're going to want to try and get that win as soon as possible. Fair enough, this is a tough matchup for them. Invictus, we've said, have the potential to be the best in Europe.
Don't get me wrong, we can't blame one person here. We can't say that Moz is trying to do this on his own.
Oh, no, absolutely
That's not
no.
what I'm trying to say, but, you know, this is somebody who's been at the top time and time again.
Yes.
And certainly this, from what's happened to him so far throughout the league, it's a team effort. You know, everybody has to pull their own weight. Everyone has to do the job. But I think for Moz, seeing him in this position now, still in Pro League, still at the top, still more than every single chance to make DreamHack Atlanta. But it's definitely not been the best of seasons for him. It has been a hell of a rough season so far. And honestly, it looks to have, with all due respect, losing Brandon as in his best friend, but as his duo partner, only just kind of got a little bit worse. Yeah. I think that's fair to say.
And when you take away such a massive slaying presence from that team as well, that's going to make the game so much harder for Moz. Moz is going to have to do so much more. He's going to have to weigh in more on those slays. He's going to have to chime in more on that damage dealt that Brandon was bringing to that team, Respectful was bringing to the lads now known as Vex. But strongholds on the rig, we're speaking of slaying, we're speaking of strong slaying performances. This is a game type where even if you don't make the right decisions every now and then, as long as you're slaying out the other team, you can really benefit from that. So if Vex just focus on slaying right here, they can get themselves back into this series at a 3-1 scoreline. But we've seen in the past, Ramirez's shot calling is so good. He'll call rotations exactly where they're needed to go. So yeah, I'm really worried here for Vexed if they don't keep tabs on Ramirez.
Moz at least tags up Crystola. I'll take him down, so that scatter shot's going to be upstairs inside the corridor. Need to make some use of that one. Jimbo once again. What else would he have in his back pocket but a camo, just creeping around as per usual. The game's doing a little bit, not passive, but certainly slow tonight, hence we are just kind of keeping things calm and chilling out on the commentary side. But yeah, I mean, you still look, I kind of want to talk a little bit more about Vex. We still look at that roster. Riot's, he's still a beast, he's still a legend. Lunit, still one of the best shots in Europe at this moment in time. Moz, you know, he's a 2-times champion for an absolute reason. Morga, he's been picked up for a reason. They clearly know there's skill there. They clearly know there's some spark and some, you know, some shine there that they want to add to this roster. It's 4 individually great players. It's just whether or not, 1, it comes together, and 2, how long it takes, because, Harry, there's only potentially this game and then 2 more series afterwards.
Exactly. How long is it going to take to mold that team together? And in those kind of scenarios where you are looking to kind of get your team together and you're looking to start making more of an impact on the league in terms of team chemistry, you're looking for your leaders on the team. And honestly, I'm not really too sure where the leadership comes from on this team, because Morga's the new man. You can't expect him to have too much of a say in how the tactics work and how the team's going to bond and how the chemistry is going to flow. Riot's probably is one of those players that you would expect to try and get the team together and start getting them playing the way that Halo 5 should be played. And there's no one better on the team that knows how to do that than Moz, because he spent 3 seasons on the top team in Europe. So
yep.
You're almost looking for Moz to work with Riot and try and get this band of brothers together. But as we're saying this, Vexed actually have the lead in this game, and they've been doing very well slaying so far. Snipedrone does have the new railgun, but the camouflage is coming up soon, and it was Jimbo to grab the last one. So Invictus, they're going to know the timing on. Just watch out for Jimbo. Might just try and make a sneaky play right here for the camouflage, but Lunny's perfect shots will put an end to his existence.
I do like how you kind of put that one a little bit. You know, when you look at Mo's multiple Halo 5 champion, and then you look at Riot's multiple Halo title champion, not just, you know, he's won on H2A, MCC, back on Reach. This guy has titles coming out of his backside. He's like Ramirez. But it's whether or not, again, all this comes together between now and the next 2 series that are ahead of him in the next few weeks.
So this is actually much better here from Vexed. All 4 down for Infuse. They already did Vexed the BR base, and now look, they have a triple cap. This is what we were talking about. Slaying performances on Bridge Strongholds are so crucial, because now look, they can actually contest the BR base, and the total control will keep rolling. Another double here from Riot. It's really nice. That's 2 doubles back to back. And honestly, this triple cap could roll for quite some time as long as Riot is moving like he is with this power weapon, because he can really put an end to the lives of Invictus players very quickly with this. I mean, look, he's already popped Cristola down to no shields, and there he goes, he's down. 2 kills already in the hands of Invictus, another 3 down, for Team Invictus and Vexed. They're going to keep rolling. They don't have scoring right now, but they're going to have control of the map.
What a slay fest. What an absolute slay fest. It's good just to see the kill feed at the moment. It's just been completely filled with Vexed over and over again, controlling both Nest and Basement, working together, as you mentioned. Behind base over on the side, it's been contested also. Can he get... Oh my god. The old Riots. He woke up. Frenzy comes in, just doing dirty work. We've been pretty much with him throughout the entirety of that time, doing awesome stuff. Triple cap is still rolling. Total control comes in hot. 25 points to 61. Signs of life, and we've said it before, Harry, it's there. This team has the capabilities, it has the skill. It's just when you connect all the dots and how long it takes to kind of connect those dots.
And if you're Invictus right now, you're actually looking for your star player Snipedrone to start firing. I mean, when they played this in the scrim, he actually went 16-8 in a game that they won 100-63. They're kind of around the same performance at the moment. And now look, the Slays are coming in for Invictus, and they could have a triple cap of their own. Wouldn't be surprised to see Jembo here actually push the basement instead of waiting for that camouflage. If he gets the kill on Riot, which Cristola actually will, that's going to be total control for Invictus, and they can actually cycle back around for that camouflage as well. It's actually going to be Ramirez to grab that. So this is much better now from Invictus. They're getting the plays, and now they're making the rotations they need to.
Here we go then, Ramirez just creeping around with the camo. Plenty of time to do all the work if he really wants to, and he's going to get a scatter shot. Fair enough, there's only 1 more bullet. Needs to be careful of these people. Coming out tower, down goes 1, finds someone else on back rail. Also, 1 in the middle, up on the railgun spawn. Misses that last shot, unfortunately, but looking for one of his teammates to pick that up, and there it is. Snipedrone comes in hot with the cleanup. Nice assist out of Ramirez, will tag up 1. Riot catches him off guard though. He's going to be forced backwards. Look at that play, staying alive.
Really smart, and really smart to do so as well, because he was outnumbered in Nest right there. He puts both players weak, which means they're going to be backing down and playing a little bit more passive. And he realizes his team will keep scoring even though they lose the Nest. They still have basement and BR base, and by giving up that death, by staying alive right there from Ramirez, he's actually going to allow his team to be right back in this game. They're only down by 9 now as they are getting back into scoring here as well, and this is more like it. Don't forget, they were down 60-20 in this game. Now they're right back in it.
65, in fact doesn't get 65, sticks at 64, 2:70, 6 minutes and 3 seconds remaining on the clock. Snipedrone going to tag up. BR Basement is also just going to punch the wall, just, you know, give it a bit of abuse, why the hell not. Looking across then at Nest, one player will be attacking it anytime soon. Riots comes running down through Whitehall. Lunny forced to move backwards though, finds the headshot on the end, spins around, finds that other player, shoot him in the back. That's going to be Morga. Grenades coming down, needs to be careful. Unfortunately, not careful enough, he will fall. Ramirez though, grabbing that fresh rail, looking for another player that hides around the corner. That's going to be Riots. Gets away with his live triple cap, once again goes in, back into the hands of Invictus. Grenades go down, Most pops up to say hello. Will the nade tag him? No, he does not. Two players will fall. Lunny and Morga back to back. Right, it's going to answer back as well, so numbers advantage. In fact, no, even across the board. However, the respawn isn't going to be in the advantage of Vexed. They need to be careful. They're going to be over in back bunker on that side. And they've got to move, Harry. They've got to move to this side of the map and tag up some of these plots.
Yeah, the worrying thing is really when you're playing against a team like you're playing against a team like Invictus on this game type, you're constantly going to be worried about them countering whatever you're doing, because that's been the story so far. They've been wanting to try and push forward for the first kill, the first couple of kills. But every time they've done that, it's been Invictus to go around the back of them and just take their home stronghold away from them, as they're doing right now. We saw a great push basement right there after the first two kills from Vexed. But look, Jimbo's already to the BR base. He's already taking away that home stronghold for them. And the first kill right here, they'll push the triple and it's going to be game. So they absolutely need to stop Jimbo right here. Otherwise, this series is over.
Time will just tick down. And Jim's already here for the cleanup and the collection. And left both players can throw the body into Nest really quickly. I don't think it's going to be time enough. And there you have it. Invictus with a hot 4-0 sweep.
GG.
That now makes things interesting, because obviously that's a team with 2-0 in the Pro League. That have now
2-1.
2-1, which also means when we speak about 2-1, Invictus are going to be there too. So two teams after that one game tie it up. I think it will still be on map count. It'll actually transfer across now, in theory.
And what's interesting, if Supremacy actually beat Infuse in our next series, it means we'll have 4 teams tied in first place. And the split, the tiebreaker will be on that map percentage, like you said. Morga, another really weak performance from him. Only 7 kills. Fair enough, he had those 15 assists. I want to check out the damage to give him the benefit of the doubt. He actually had more than Lunny, so yeah, I can't really be too harsh on him. But again, you're expecting a player like Morga. When he was on XL, he was really grabbing those kills for his team. And when you transition over to a team like this,